I'm recording this video with permission from Scholastic. So today we're going to be reading chapter 11 of Frindle. It's a short chapter, so this is going to be a little bit shorter of a video, but I want to remind you guys what we read last chapter. If you would recall, Judy Morgan, who is a reporter for the local, I think it was a local newspaper, she came in and interviewed the principal, she interviewed Miss Granger, and she even ended up talking to Nick without knowing it when she visited the elementary school because she wants something to write about. Does anybody remember why the reporter was there in the first place? Like, why would she be even interested in going to an elementary school? Well, if you paused the video and thought about that, you'll remember that it's a very small town where they're at, and so nothing really happens. There's nothing too much, like, too very exciting to report on, and so this is kind of an interesting story, and so Nick is getting extra attention from this. And we learned at the end that Nick actually mailed Judy Morgan a picture of the class and wrote on the back where he was located in the class picture so that she could see, oh, I was talking to Nick all along. So that's kind of where we're leaving off. This chapter is called Extra, Extra, Read All About It. So I say it like that because that's kind of how I've heard it in books and movies and shows and things like that. But a lot of times that's referring to, like, if people are selling newspapers, extra, extra, read all about it kind of means like, hey, come buy our news. And so my guess, based on just this chapter title, is that this book might be about what Judy Morgan, that reporter, is going to be writing about Nick. So, chapter 11. On Thursday morning, the Westfield Gazette was delivered to all 12,297 homes and post office boxes in Westfield. The story about Lincoln Elementary School was the first item on the front page. And the headline? Local 5th grader says, "Move over, Mr. Webster." Now, why do you think it was called Move Over, Mr. Webster? Anybody know what Webster, that name means? A lot of times Webster's dictionary, that's like the name of a dictionary, and so when I think they say Mr. Webster, I think they're referring to the dictionary. It was quite an article. Not that Judy Morgan didn't tell the truth. Every statement in the article was completely true. It was the particular way she told the truth that got things hopping around town. For example, take the sentence about Miss Granger. Miss Granger, champion of the forces of order and authority, is battling hundreds of young Frindle fighters. Neither side is giving in. Or this bit about Nick. Everyone agrees that Nick Allen masterminded this plot that cleverly raises issues about free speech and academic rules. He is the boy who invented the new word. Or the last sentence in the article. One thing is sure, the kids at Lincoln Elementary School love their Frindles, and no one seems to be backing off in this war of the words. And of course the Westfield Gazette published the class picture too. And Miss Granger and Nick were identified for all the world to see. What is the meaning of this? That's what Nick's mother said, putting the article in front of Nick's nose when he got home from school. Did you talk to this reporter? She seems to know an awful lot about you and your new word, young man. What's the meaning of this? That's what the school superintendent said to Mrs. Chatham, slapping a copy of the article onto the desk. Why did you have to talk to that reporter? Don't we have enough trouble getting the taxpayers to pay for the schools without articles like this banging around town? What's the meaning of this? That's what Miss Chatham said to Miss Granger, shaking the newspaper article in front of her. I know you had to talk to that woman, but did you have to say all these things? It'd be a wonder if we don't all get fired. It was quite a Thursday for everyone, and no one could figure out how Judy Morgan had gotten that 5th grade class picture. So I told you guys that was going to be a short chapter because it was basically just about the article that the reporter wrote, but do you notice that no one knows that Nick is the one who submitted that picture? And so we see, yes, the reporter came in and kind of exposed some stuff that was happening in the school, but the reporter didn't get that picture on her own. She got it from Nick because Nick sent it in. So we see here that Nick is engaging here. He doesn't just want things to go away. He's kind of wanting to get a rise out of people. And so, as you can see, everybody's, what's the meaning of this? What's the meaning of this? And everybody, the principal and Nick's parents and Miss Granger and everybody are kind of like, why did you have to give them the picture? And Nick is staying silent, knowing that he sent in the picture. So we'll see what happens next. But I think this book is getting interesting and we're getting towards the end. So I want you guys to stay tuned for our next video and I'll see you soon. Bye.